The Connemara region is situated at the westernmost tip of Ireland. Surrounded by the sea, only a small number of people live in this barren landscape, all the more space for the sheep and the easygoing Connemara ponies. The heart of the region is the vibrant student city of Galway. Typical local dishes in Western Ireland include mussels from their own mini fjords, often accompanied by dark soda bread.
No.
John O'Halloran grew up here and loves cooking with regional ingredients.
Chowder. In some parts of the world they might say it's peasant food. I like my chowder quite thick, almost rustic.
You can harvest fresh seaweed in Connemara. It even finds its way into local desserts. John's brother, Brian, is a farrier who also raises Connemara ponies.
An old man told me one time, he said, never fall in love with your horse or your wife, because he said they mightn't always be with you.
Connemara is a district of County Galway. Here, by the sea, the weather is often harsh and humid. This doesn't bother the robust Connemara ponies. Irish riding and breeding horses have lived on this peaty, boggy ground and these scree-covered slopes for centuries. Brian O'Halloran, a self-employed farrier, has been working with these horses for the past 8 years.
Since I was riding ponies at a young age, all I ever wanted to do was become a farrier. All I ever wanted to do was work with horses. So I knew this job would be ideal for me.
Now in autumn, he's preparing the horses' hooves for winter.
There's a lot of stories about Connemara's and tales and myths and legends, and some people don't believe them, but I tend to believe them. So you just, it's like a drug. You can't get enough of them.
The region is characterised by its gentle hills and heather moorland landscapes. The majority of its inhabitants make their living from pony breeding and agriculture. John, Brian's older brother, is an archaeologist. He also runs a farm together with his wife Marcella.
It's pretty nasty. This is proper winter storm coming in, but wild weather makes for wild people, wild scenery. So it's a very, very beautiful part of the country. And the ponies are used to it. They're bred for these conditions. They're tough, they're hardy. As you can see, they're very, very quiet.
They take a lot of work, they take a lot of dedication. And as we're just hobby farmers, it's more as a passion than for profit.
Marcella and John live on a farm in Moyard, about 100 kilometres northwest of Galway. Marcella is preparing the dough for a traditional dark soda bread. She puts rye flour in a bowl and sifts in wheat flour, baking soda and salt. She also adds butter.
Everyone would have its own variations. Some people put raisins in it. Sometimes it's plain. You can put honey in it. You can put more seeds in it. You can put oatmeal in it. Some people decorate it with oatmeal. So it's preference, your taste. I add an egg in it, so it makes it richer. Add butter into it. It makes it a richer bread.
Marcella mixes the egg with buttermilk and adds the liquid to the flour. Preparation takes only a few minutes. Marcella takes care when mixing the dough. The soda reacts immediately with the buttermilk and should not be kneaded for too long or the bread will become too dense.
Oh, we're giving it a blessing. And then we let the fairies out.
These incisions also help the bread to rise. After 30 minutes in the oven at 190 degrees Celsius, it's baked through. The Connemara ponies are coveted all around the world. Only 1.5 meters high at their tallest, they're particularly suitable for beginners. Every horse has its own pedigree and a certificate stating that it's a genuine Connemara pony. As a farrier, Brian is specialised in these ponies. Many horse owners trust the good work of this bachelor. Every horseshoe is handmade because every animal has individual needs. Brian heats the iron to 1,000 degrees Celsius. The material is far more malleable at this temperature.
If you have a good shoe on a horse, it's just like yourself. If you have a good shoe on your foot, then you're more comfortable. I think the most important thing with this job is always your pride in your work. If you don't have pride or passion in your work, then you're just like everyone else.
Alongside his work as a blacksmith, Brian also breeds Connemara ponies. At this time, he's training every day with his new acquisition, Perry. Brian's niece, Branwen, wants to be a fashion designer and is using Perry's training session as sketching practice. Perry is 2 years old and not yet broken in. The daily routine is aimed at making the horse less nervous.
The main thing is with a 2-year-old or a yearling or a foal, when they're so young, you want to make sure you put in the groundwork with them, the basics, to teach the manners, but you don't want to overdo them, that you sour them. That's the main thing. It's like teaching a child. It's like teaching a child when he's young how to start reading. It's looking good. It's very hard to draw them to a horse or two, isn't it?
I'm really struggling with it now. It's something different for me. So. But I definitely couldn't train a horse either, so.
John and Marcella live on the farm together with their 6 children. The youngest, Avon, is 5 and just started school.
Hungry? You hungry? Yes. Yeah. You hungry, Evie?
Yeah.
Do you want to eat?
What do you want to eat? Mussels?
The mussels for lunch have come from Killary Fjord, north of Galway, Western Ireland's only deep fjord.
The mussels we have on the west coast of Ireland are very, very sweet. And it's because we have so many nutrients running off the hills down into the harbour. We also have lots and lots. We have a huge tidal flow here. Our tide is about 6 metres. So mussels, of course, are filtered feeders. There's no pollutants. They're getting all the nutrients that they need.
The sweet and salty flavour of the mussels encourages experimentation. For the broth, John and Marcella squeeze limes and cut chilli, garlic, onions and coriander.
You get the freshness, you get a little bit of a peak from the chilli, you get the sweetness as well from the onions, and then you just get this wonderful natural material, and it's not too overpowering.
The garlic and the chilies, as well as some fish sauce, are stewed in thick coconut milk. The broth is left to simmer on a low heat for 10 minutes. Marcella and John's children are between 5 and 24 years old. They often all eat together for lunch. The coconut milk broth is reduced and John adds the mussels. They're left to cook for 5 to 10 minutes. Meanwhile, the soda bread has cooled down. As a final touch, John garnishes the Asian-style mussels with a handful of coriander.
Evelyn, what do you think?
Yum, yum.
Yum yum.
An hour and a half's drive southeast of the family farm is Galway. It's a bustling city with a lively cultural scene. Every year, it plays host to over 100 festivals and cultural events. The cityscape is characterised by the students that make up a third of the 80,000-strong population. Branwen, the eldest daughter of the family, is in her third year of studying fashion design. In a studio at the university, she's working on designs for her new collection.
I get a lot of my inspiration from my landscape, especially where I'm from, Connemara, because I think there's just so much to take from it. Like, you've got your mountains, you've got your seaside, you've got the animals and the landscape. And also the people. Like, they're very welcoming and kind, genuine people.
Branwen is working on a special project. Her uncle Brian wants to get a tattoo, and she's in charge of the design.
I kind of wanted something a bit wild. Brian is a very charismatic person, so I wanted waves and crashing and something that kind of depicted Connemara as well. So yeah, definitely something with a lot of energy behind it.
Come on, girls.
At home on the farm in Moyard, John is cooking a classic Irish stew with fish, mussels and lots of vegetables.
Chowder. In some parts of the world, they might say it's peasant food. It's local, it's seasonal, it's what the guys are catching at the moment at sea. Everything is fresh.
He fries leek, onions and carrots in plenty of butter. A little flour thickens the vegetables.
I like it with a little bit of fish, but also a little bit of the mussels and maybe some oysters or shellfish mixed in. I like my chowder quite thick, almost rustic.
John also uses smoked fish, which also means the stew won't need salting.
It's tasty, it's wholesome and it's warm. I mean, we're just after a storm here, so it's a nice wholesome dish.
On this occasion, John is only cooking for his wife, Marcella. They're celebrating their 23rd wedding anniversary, and he's thinking back to the big day.
I remember it was a grey day and I was just hoping that it wouldn't rain. We were quite young, a little bit nervous, but I knew we were a long time at that stage, so I knew everything would be okay.
The vegetables are cooked, and so John adds the fish and mussels. Now it just needs to simmer for a few minutes longer.
Oh, no.
That's good.
The children are spending the night with their grandparents. A rare moment of togetherness for the couple.
I think it's down to the way that the veg was chopped.
The agriculture in the region is made up of sheep breeding and pasture and dairy farming. Here, many people live from what nature offers. Seaweed, for example. It's low tide, and John and his daughter Avin have gone out to collect some.
Can I have some more? Carrageen has been used for hundreds and hundreds of years to eat and also as a cure. It's very rich in iodine and lots of trace elements that mankind and, of course, animals and livestock eat. Wow! What did you get?
Seaweed.
Excellent seaweed.
Daddy, look what I found.
And what's that of?
A crab.
It is a crab. Put up your nose here to me.
No!
You work with what the country and the coast gives you. So traditionally, people have been coming down here for thousands and thousands of years to use the natural resources that's been here. Good girl. Well done.
Walking in the water.
Walking in the water.
With my teacher.
Brian is on the beach for the first time with his young stallion Perry. He's getting him used to different environments. Brian will sell the pony in a few months, but there's a great deal of work to be done before then.
Some people think when you're working with horses you have to have brute strength. You don't. You have to have a cool head. You have to have a strong mind. You have to have a strong head. Go on, get on, get on. Oh, the boy. Oh, the boy. The boy. And it's all about your voice. He'll do anything you want him to do once you tell him and show him how to do it correctly. So when we work him in a circle like that, he has to listen to your voice. And his ears are back and forth, back and forth. So with his inside ear on this side, he's listening to me. Good boy. And his outside ear, he's listening to everything else. But he has to understand that my voice is the main voice to listen to. And if he listens to me and he trusts me, then there's no problems.
Who's this?
I know.
You do know. That's Perry. Perry the pony.
What are you doing anyway?
Say hello.
Hello.
You show Brian what you got.
Seaweed.
Go on, you show Brian. He's never seen that. You bring it over him to me. Does Perry eat seaweed? What do you think, Perry? Here. You fussy eater. You're not too fussy with that, is he?
No, he knows his stuff.
That a boy. Oh, is this his first day of training?
Yeah, this is his first day out here now, so he's actually taking it quite well.
And we're going to get home and start washing that.
Yeah, that's the job, yeah. We're doing the same thing now.
All right, Perry. Yeah. Okay, come on. I'll race you across the beach. On your marks, get set, go!
See you later.
Marcella is preparing a dessert from the seaweed that was collected on the beach. It has to be soaked in water and then boiled in milk for 20 minutes. The marine algae is like a natural gelatin.
I didn't like it at all when I was a child. I saw it as a medicine. I didn't like it. We only got it when we were sick.
Back then, the flavourless seaweed was only boiled in water. Today, Marcella adds egg yolk, sugar and vanilla extract, whisking the milk and seaweed into the mixture quickly so the egg doesn't thicken.
It is now classified as a superfood. It's high in iodine, it's high in calcium. A lot of cancer patients use it after being sick. It's very good for ulcers as well.
A little egg white gives the dessert a nice airy consistency. Then it goes into the fridge for 2 to 4 hours. John is a member of a local bartering network in which the farms exchange excess food with one another. 25 farmers post what they have on a social media group. John has a hunting license and is often able to offer game.
I swap food and things we like to make with people because I enjoy it. I like to meet my neighbours, and of course, sometimes you know, maybe my garden wouldn't have grown and maybe my neighbour was short of some meat. So people would have swapped because people wouldn't have had much cash. So it was a very old tradition, and nowadays it's just one that we like to keep going.
Peter Walsh is also a member of the network. He raises Connemara sheep, whose meat is considered particularly tender. John and Peter are old school friends.
Thank you very much. So basically, what's here is the back, shoulder, and things like that.
That's perfect. That's
More,
absolutely ideal.
you know, suits more for stewing and stuff.
And I have a full leg for you. And then Marcella made 3 different marmalades. There's some gooseberry, there's some rowan berry jelly,
Very nice colour.
and there's some really nice fresh mint jam as well.
Perfect.
There you go.
That's for you. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much, sir. Good to see you.
Yeah, I'll go and stick this in.
Good to see you. Cheers,
Take it
Pete.
easy. Fred. 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 Come on. Come on. In. Get in.
Galway is home to many musicians, students and creative types, including tattoo artists. There are 10 tattoo studios in the small historical centre alone. Brian has been toying with the idea of getting a tattoo for some time. Today is the big day. Stephen is tattooing Brian with a picture of a Connemara pony, based on a design by Branwyn.
You don't really do too many horses or something?
Not
or
too
no?
many. No, they're not as common as, say, pocket watches and angels. Roses are very common. So, yeah, we don't do too many horses, but
No, it's nice to get that done now because it's kind of part of the heritage too with Connemara pony, things like that. So with the pony, they reckon that when the Spanish Armada crashed off the coast, that the Spaniards' horses, the Andalusians, they broke loose and swam ashore.
Oh, yeah.
And they mixed with the native ponies that was there.
yeah.
Brian's family want to surprise him and help him celebrate the new tattoo. Marcella and John are preparing a lamb stew with potatoes, leek and carrots. The lamb is from the bartering network.
I wonder, did Bramwell go with her first idea for the pink pony on the tattoo?
I think it'd be funny if they put a donkey on it. I don't know.
Watch your fingers on that. Oh, shit. This way. It's easier.
I can do it.
No, it's easier if you go this way.
The two also prepare some turnips. It's autumn and they're in season. First, John cooks the lamb for 20 minutes on Brian's old gas stove. Over in Galway, the tattoo is taking shape. They've managed to complete the pony motif in a single session.
Hello.
Well, how you get on?
Grand, how's it going?
Not too bad. Oh, we're going well now.
You sore?
It's not too bad.
It looks really good. You did a really good job.
Yeah.
I think it looks perfect.
He did well. Set like a champion. Very tough. I expected as much. The horse breeders are always tough. There we go.
The meat and a portion of the potatoes cook for 1 hour. Marcella then adds the rest of the vegetables. The stew simmers on a low heat for another hour, so the meat is nice and tender. The rest of the family is decorating Brian's workshop for their little party.
Are you looking forward to seeing Brian's big tattoo, Evie? Evie. Evie,
Yeah?
will we tie another one together?
Try to practice to tie.
You're trying to practice. Oh.
The O'Halloran family likes to experiment, but with the lamb stew, the national dish of Ireland, they keep to the traditional recipe. The stew is particularly creamy thanks to the potatoes, which were added at the very beginning.
Here you go. Hey.
And finally, the seaweed dessert. A sweet end to their get-together.
These are the Thank you.
How's everyone?
Well, show us.
Hey.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah. Came out really well. Oh, they shaped your arm as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
There was a razor.
plenty more hair there.
That's really nice.
Yeah, he did a really good job with it.
Yeah.
He's good at his job.
He got the head really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost Japanese looking, the waves, and then he got absolutely nailed at the movement coming
Yeah,
through.
everything, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
A great job.
And he made a neat job of the hooves.
Yeah, he did a great job.
I told